Hey there. I have a massive, massive, a ginormous book haul. And then I'm just going to combine and show you what I'm reading because some of them are part of the haul. Well, all of them are part of the haul. Um, uh, I haven't counted, but there's at least 30. Yeah. And then one over here. Um, honestly didn't think that I had this many. I was like, I haven't been buying books. It's a lie. It's a big fat lie. So if I ever tell you I'm not buying books, then you know I'm a liar. I have used bookstores, library, Dollar Tree, freebies, been from the library, and then ones I have purchased from Amazon and eBay. Because I've been finding, I used to buy like majority of my books from eBay and then got into Amazon because I'm like, oh, hey, it's Prime or it's Marketplace, but a lot of them you can get cheaper on eBay, so it is what it is. Really don't know where to start because there's so many over here, it's kind of overwhelming. I'll just go through these really quickly. A couple of weekends ago, I stopped at a McKay. If you're in the South, you know what McKay is. And was going specifically for cookbooks. Why, I don't know, because I have a whole shelf in there of cookbooks. I feel like there was something else I was there specifically looking for, but I can barely remember what I did last. But I was digging in their bargain section, which is dangerous for me because, well, I can get this giant stack for nothing. So, we have another copy of Lonesome Dove since it was $1.50, and this wasn't in the bargain section actually, which it could have been. Because I know my husband's going to watch this and be like, dang it, you should have just looked for it, but I didn't pay anything for it. I can't find my other copy. Whoops. You have to be able to relate. I'm not the only one that does that. And as soon as you buy it, you'll find the other copy. Terms of Endearment. No, I have never seen the movie. And I don't want to see the movie until I read the book. And then The Evening Star, which is the sequel by Larry McMurtry. I should have gone ahead and bought the rest of the series, but we'll start at one, which is going to be a while before I read that. Not necessarily a while, but you'll see why. And then I got Herbs and Apples by Helen Hooven Santmeyer. It was a dime. And like I said, I had credit, so I didn't pay anything for these. She wrote And the Ladies of the Club, which if you don't know what it is a big, thick, honking book. She wrote these when she was in her 80s. This one maybe she didn't. She probably wrote this one ahead of time. I don't want to take too long to figure it out. Oh, no, just kidding. It was printed in 1925. And then her second book, or one of her subsequent books, was printed when she was in her 80s because she worked on it for so long. Yeah. I don't have an author photo in this one, but the other one does. My other copy of And the Ladies of the Club is beat up. And no, I've never read it. I've been carrying that thing around forever. Prince of Tides was 75 cents. I have only recently discovered Pat Conroy within the past couple of years, and I love him. I really love him. I wish he was still around making more, writing more. And I haven't watched Prince of Tides either. And I will not. And then we have, I know at some point I had a copy of this, probably got rid of it years ago. Oldest Living Confederate Widow Tells All, which apparently was a miniseries on TV. Did not know that. I would probably totally watch it if I could find it somewhere, but March of the Mammoths would have been great for all these, but I'm sure we will have another big book month. And then The Great Santini by Pat Conroy, which I picked up The Death of the Great Santini and apparently put it down because I can't find it anywhere. And it wasn't on my receipt, so something happened. And then this one was from our local youth bookstore, which is Farm City, The Education of an Urban Farmer by Novella Carpenter. I was like, oh, that looks fun, and it's like 10 years old. Doesn't look like it. It looks like something that would have just been released. But basically, she moves into a ramshackle house in inner city Oakland and discovers a weed-choked, garbage-strewn, abandoned lot next door, and she makes it into a little urban farm. So I thought that sounded really interesting. Again, I had credit for that, so I didn't spend any money. The good thing about this is it's not a lot of money, because library books, trade credit, free bin, the only ones I paid anything for were the ones from online shopping. Then we'll do the free bin. And these are random. I know nothing about any of these. We have The Finnish Way, Finding Courage, Wellness, and Happiness Through the Power of Sisu. She's a nonfiction. The Dispatcher, Ryan David John. The tagline is what got me. Is the phone rings, it's your daughter, she's been dead for 4 months. And this is brand new. Like, I don't even think anybody's ever read it. And it was in the free bin. And you'll see cats roaming around. And if you hear a hiss and pop, that's the chicken that I am cooking for chicken and dumplings, because I had a chicken and I have extra time. So, okay, Renegade Love by Catherine Sutcliffe. Apparently this is like some Western romance. If I never read it and get rid of it, it was free. I can't turn down free books. Is anybody relatable? And I'm sorry I shouted that. Escape from Warsaw by Ian Serralier. Not sure. I picked this up because it looked like something that my friend Amy would read, and that I would read it and pass along to her. Well, she told me she already read it, so I'm behind on that one. So that it's about obviously Escape from Warsaw, World War II fiction, young adult, children's fiction. Too Deep for Tears, Catherine Lynn Davis. Another historical romance that I know absolutely nothing about, and is Chubb. It's 720 pages. Apparently it has a Scottish beauty, a Chinese beauty, an English beauty, and an Indian beauty. So I don't know if that intertwines their lives, if they have anything to do with each other. It's just different stories. Again, free. And then the Dictionary of Clichés. Over 2,000 entries. I skimmed through it and I was like, I should just left it in the bin. But I can always take it back and throw it back in there next time I go. And then I will show you the Dollar Tree books and try to keep this shorter because I'm at 8 minutes. At the Edge of the Orchard by Tracy Chevalier. Never read anything by her. As many books as she has. But I thought, hey, I will get this because it's $1 and it takes place in 1838 and then 1853 historical. So I love a good historical. And there's my cat, William, making an appearance. And then Salt, Sugar, Fat. Oh, that's not pretty. Don't do that. Salt, Sugar, Fat by Michael Moss. And this I have had on my wish list forever and ever. And funnily enough, found it at the Dollar Tree while I was buying Easter candy. And the cashier kind of fat shamed me for it. And I was like, it is what it is. So, basically, how all of these things are evil and bad for you. Mary Coyne by Marissa Silver. And again, this was one I had on my wish list forever on Amazon. I think I took it off and never got it, so now I know why. And this one takes place during the Great Depression. It's kind of a story around this iconic photograph. And then The Lost Landscape, A Writer's Coming of Age by Joyce Carol Oates. This is a memoir, and I've never read anything by Joyce Carol Oates. Never. I am ashamed. So I need to get on that too. And then my online purchases. I found randomly an audiobook on the library website and listened to it. It's just the first in a cute, cozy mystery series. And there are 7, will be an 8th one in August. And they only had the first one, which made no sense. I don't know if it's not popular, but I don't have the first one. I don't know if I'm going to buy the first one since I've already done it, but I probably will because I will inevitably pass these along. I don't think these are in order, but the first one was, surely it's on here, Brownies and Broomsticks. So it's basically this woman that is a baker for her aunt and uncle's business, and they are all witches, which generally I wouldn't like that, but it's cute. I like cozy mysteries. So the next one is Bewitched, Bothered, and Biscotti, and the cat is one of the main characters too. Charms and Chocolate Chips, Some Enchanted Eclair, Magic and Macaroons, Spells and Scones, and Potions and Pastries. And I'm not entirely sure what the next one will be. It doesn't say. But there are recipes in these, like kind of like the Joanne Fluke. Why'd I call her Joanna? Which is cute. I've tried some of Joanne Fluke's recipes and good cookies. And then this one I have wanted for quite a while. And now I was going to wait and get it on Amazon because it just got released in the U.S. in paperback, but I don't like the U.S. edition, so I went ahead and ordered it from Book Depository and waited impatiently for it. So If Cats Disappeared from the World by Genki, I'm going to butcher this, Kawamura. I love this cover much better than the U.S. one. So I want to read it soon because it's tiny. And it's been sitting on my nightstand for a while, and I'm ashamed I haven't read it. And then this one is a joke. I have no clue whatsoever how I even found that there's going to be one in May. Like, haha, that's pretty funny. There were 2 before it. Shark Island by Chris Jameson. So I'm assuming it's like a Jaws kind of. It's not that big, and I think it will be a fun summer read. It just seems like it's going to be super cheesy. But it takes place in Cape Cod during a fierce nor'easter, and then there's sharks. I'm like, oh god, could you have tried to be like Shark Nor'easter instead of Sharknado? And then this is the last one I bought. I'm actually currently listening to the audiobook and following along. It's Feast for Crows. Yes, I was late to the game. Actually, not late to the game. I started the books forever ago and just lazed out. So now I'm at least to the 4th one. I have the 5th audiobook on hold from the library, and I'm watching the last season. And if I can admit, I have only watched the first season of the show, and then the first chunk of the last season, and then this last episode, so. Oh well. And then the last ones are my library books, and currently reading books. The only one I don't have to show you, actually 2, I have the Lost Roses by Martha Kelly Hall. She wrote Lilac Girls, so I have the ebook of that one. And Boomtown, which is about Oklahoma. And Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which I've been reading it since like 3 or 4 weeks ago, if that tells you anything, and I'm not even maybe a fourth or a third. I don't remember. It's not great. Sorry if you like it or interested. I'm not digging it. We have A Southern Woman by Elena Yates Ulo. A random pick from the library shelf. Historical fiction. This one's been making the rounds. My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Otessa Moshfegh. This one also, The Paragon Hotel by Lindsay Fay. Again, I just picked some of these up purely because of YouTube. Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata. I've been wanting to read this forever. It's little bitty, and for some reason it's always on hold at the library. So finally, that one I haven't started, but I'm getting ready to. And bless you, sorry. And then these I'm reading. I will sit down and finish this one in a minute. American Overdose: The Opioid Tragedy in 3 Acts by Chris McGreal. This one is okay. It's nothing great. I think I'd prefer to read Dope Sick, which I have on hold for the audiobook. And then this one I'm reading with Patrice. It's The Great Influenza by John M. Barry. We read the first 2 chapters, working on getting up into part 2, which is another 2 chapters. I have not. I have the ebook of it too, so I can go back and forth. And then this one I haven't read much of and need to because I'm at my last renewal. Like, I can't renew it after this. So it's The Good Neighbor, The Life and Work of Fred Rogers. Had this one on hold for the audiobook forever, and it was just never coming in, so I found the large print edition. So this is my goal, to finish this and to get a chunk of this done, and then this, and really listen to a lot of Feast for Crows, because I was finishing Storm of Swords and kind of lost 4 or 5 days worth of audiobook time because I wasn't finished with the other. So I think I have to listen to 2 hours to get through it by the time it's due back. That's it. I can't think of any other. Oh, I am reading also an ebook. It's one of those things that I read while I'm falling asleep. I started last night. It's The History of Moonshine. Just because it's short and it's on Kindle, so I can have it and read it from any of my devices. Let me know if you have read any of these, which ones that I should get to next. If you have any suggestions of other books by any of these authors, kind of like Joyce Carol Oates, which one should I read? That's it. I'm at 17 minutes, so it's going to take forever to upload, but I'll see you soon. Bye.